Hello everyone and welcome to the 31st episode.
Hit me, Raggy. Det er så fast for mir. Packer da. Es ist so schwer.
You're listening to In Response, a legacy podcast. A show where three handsome guys talk about their favorite Magic the Gathering format, Legacy. This show is brought to you by queerness@anycost.com and Austrian-Legacy.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/response_legacy. And now, lean back and enjoy.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 31st episode
Hit me, Raggy, one more time.
of
In Response, a legacy podcast.
I'm Philipp Klein
I am Daniel.
And I'm Peter Plank.
and we're talking about legacy.
Most of the time.
Woo, we finally got the intro right.
Nice.
So that's great. And yeah, at first I gotta say Happy New Year to all of our listeners. And we got to Ostchino, our Patreon Christian Neutz today.
Happy New Year,
Happy New
Chino.
Year.
A special New Year.
Daniel and myself, we had talked about it. Every time we are announcing our Patreons, we're calling this Ostchinon in the future.
Chino, yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
he's the only one at the
Ostchino.
moment. So
Yeah.
like out calling, but
Out-chinoing.
yeah, perfect.
Out-chinoing. Our chino.
And we haven't done this for a long time, so that was the right place to do it here. So, Happy New Year again, and we hope you aren't still drunk anymore from the parties.
And week-long drinking.
Yeah, okay, it's a week long. Oh fuck yeah. For explanation, we are recording this on is it the 3rd?
It's
The 3rd of January.
The 3rd of January. So it's still a little bit hard today. It was very, how do you call it? We would say it was liquid in Austria.
Yeah. I mean, I think someone, I don't know where I read this explanation. There is this short period of time, during Christmas when the first few days when you just after Christmas and the Christmas Eve and then the Boxing Day and so on, the Christmas holidays, you just have the feeling, I never want to eat one thing in my life again. And there is this transition towards the end of the year where it's going to be, I don't want to drink anything in my life again.
And certainly not at this point because I'm drinking a beer right now. But yeah, it was great, and we just hope you had a very nice New Year's Day. And so I think we can start with the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daniel, why don't you start?
Sure.
What's up and what happened in your life?
Well, as I said in the beginning, I pretty much had this experience that I was reading. I was eating too much in the holidays, and well, actually for drinking it was not too bad, but I can't remember, and I always think this is a bad sign.
Yeah, you can't remember that you have drunk anything at all, so
Yeah.
you must have drunk really, really hard.
But yeah, for me it's quite nice so far. I still have holidays for the end of this week. So yeah, I have some relaxation time until I have to work again. And I'm utilizing this time or have actually in the past weeks, utilized the time to overhaul my website a little bit. I think I've announced it before. Yep. I've made a new legacy section for the website, and based on that, we have decided, this was actually kind of a spontaneous idea we had, that we might also dip our content creation a little bit more into details and deep dive kind of topics, so more in-depth discussion.
Yeah, and to be a little bit more how do you say this, more professional.
Yeah, more high quality content.
Yeah.
Just with good features, with good knowledge, and not the casually talk. And we wanna do this in a separate category or some sort of that.
This will be not a regular schedule, but it will be starting this year, probably on a monthly basis, or for the first episodes at least, as we have planned it. And I think we all are very stoked about this, and I hope you guys will also be very interested in this. We can share our love and ideas of what drives our love for this legacy format in more details, with also some guests here and there maybe.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. We will give you more details, I think, probably over Twitter or in the next episode even. Yeah, is this in the works, and we won't spoiler too much here, but this will certainly be great for all our listeners here.
Yeah, but fear not, we will keep shit talking.
Shit talking for us. This won't be gone anyway.
This is on the regular episode, so
and speaking of that, I also want to incorporate my website a little bit more into this. If you haven't already, check it out. It is greatness@anycost.com, and more legacy content will be, of course, also in the future, or in the next few months at least. Besides that, I have played quite some legacy in the past few weeks actually. I have a new toy that I made or picked up. It's actually Omnitel. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not really.
Do you play the blue-white version from Nathan?
I took his list as a basis, let's say, and I tried a few flex slots and altered a little bit of cards. For example, I tried a Teferi in there, which I quite like.
Wasn't Teferi the reason to play white in the first place?
In the first place, yes, but nowadays, at least according to Nathan, but by the way, shout outs to Nathan, of course.
Nathan Liepitz, for anyone who doesn't know.
Of course, yeah. He plays white primarily right now for Ormstrand.
Yeah. Okay.
Because his reason, I think, this is quite a good reason. You can't really beat Pyroblast from
Delver
or any red-based decks.
In
the meta, if you're not on white, let's say, because when you typically, if you don't play white, you play green for Whale of Summer, and Pyroblast is still catastrophic in a sense. It can kill your Omniscience.
Yeah, that's true.
And
with a draw spell on a stack,
or a draw spell on a stack or something like that. Exactly. So and also you can just, with Orange Stump, if you cast it on the upkeep on your opponents, you skip that turn. You don't care about the dashed Ragavan, which can hose you, or you typically don't care about some hate pieces that the opponent might play during that turn. So it is overall the catch-all answers to all hate pieces, let's say. Yeah. And I quite like this approach, and it's a fun deck for sure. I'm not sure if it's all that powerful in the meta, but for sure if you tweak it a little bit more, I think it surely has some potential. So I really like this deck. And besides that, not really much going on. I had I'm actually a little bit of a brewing, not really mood, but I had a brewing idea.
What the fuck? You're into brewing?
The time has finally come.
What have you done with Daniel? Who are you?
I'm not sure if it is a good deck, but I have to say it is not Legacy, unfortunately.
Okay, I already thought because you're the most competitive person out of us three, and
and you meant the modern rack pile.
Yes.
Okay, I've seen the list.
I've seen the list, baby.
That's cool.
It honestly just looks like, and I got the feedback from all that have had a look at it. It just looks like Modern Horizons block constructed.
it's basically
all the good cards.
All the good cards is basically MTG money pile.
Yeah, MTG money pile. It has Ragavan, Expressive Iteration, Urza Saga,
Ren and Six, Raggy.
Yes, Tamugoev, of course, also. Unholy Heat, Lightning Bolt.
To play Lurus as a companion.
No,
also?
because I have Shardless Agent.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I wanted to try Shardless Agent because I wanted to have some more reason to be in blue rather than Expressive Iteration.
Yeah.
And Shardless Agent looked quite nice. And without any discard spells, you don't have many dead cascade spells that you could go into. So overall,
is Holy Heat the worst card that you can hit? Am I right?
Probably yes,
because the bolt can go face.
So the ceiling is really high.
The ceiling is high, yeah.
Yeah.
I have Delirium. Maybe I can kill your Goif.
Yeah, but sometimes it's a May cast. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Make cast. I mean, of course, and the best thing actually is that Shardless Agent, as it is an artifact, can both boost Delirium in your graveyard and also boost pump your
constructs.
Goef and construct tokens.
Yeah, that's huge.
So there's a lot of synergy and it's completely a grindy money pile. That's what I would call it. I think it's quite fun.
Is this playable without Ren and Six?
No.
Not really.
So you can't port it to Legacy?
Oh, that's what you meant. Maybe, but of course, if you
have to play Days, Force of Will, Brainstorm,
yeah, for sure.
You would
be Ragdelva.
This would for sure in a short period of time just turn into
Blue Red Delva.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Are you playing
DRC
in the deck? No.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
so Shardless Agent would get Bemerktided. Mm-hmm. Then you have the whole suite of Blue Red Delva, and you have the fixed piles of any blue deck, which is a Delva shell.
Yeah. That's so boring.
Yeah, the last thing is that that I probably have to say this is most probably will be the last time that we record in this flat that we are here.
Oh my god.
Because I'm actually moving to my girlfriend, and right on this next day, as we finish recording, I will grab my desk with all my recording equipment and move it to her. So next time, this will be a new location. I don't know if it will change any quality. Of course not. And but yeah.
We invested so much money into good microphones. I hope the location won't mess up the quality.
Of course not, yeah.
If it is, we will record the next episode in the train station. Yeah,
in the train station. Yes. But what's up with you guys? That's enough for me, actually.
Yeah. I mean, should I start?
Yeah, Peter. Why not?
My car broke down.
Woohoo! Finally, it happened.
I mean, broke down.
I think the first time you told us about your car is maybe breaking down was about 1.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's happening since 2.5 or 3 years ago. But on New Year's Eve, it finally happened that I couldn't really drive out. I couldn't really start it, and today it worked a little bit again. So a little bit again. I could see me.
What do you mean by it worked a little?
Yeah, I mean, the brakes don't work. You don't need them to drive.
No, the problem with the car is that somehow there is some pollution in the air, something like too much liquid or too much air in the
air.
In the fuel when it comes to the, how's it called, the
exhaust.
In Austrian, Zündkerzen.
You
are a little bit into
candle.
it. Burning candle. So where the
ignition of the
ignition happens of the fuel, and when it's too much water in the air outside, it can happen, and if it is too cold, in a spark plug.
Yes.
If it is too cold. It can happen.
Sounds dirty.
Yeah, it's like sparky down in the inner plug. Yeah.
We can save this for another episode on our OnlyFans account.
Where we tried the new spark plugs.
Yeah.
But not for the car.
Or the Young Magic Calendar.
But yeah, now my car has this problem since a few years, and now it was really, really bad. And today I brought it to another guy to look into it, and I will see what he will say tomorrow. And if I have to buy a new one or it is cheap to repair, because they now found the issue because I have the car at a service every single year and tell them the same problem every single year, and they change the whole ignition unit and nothing changes. So I'm kind of tired of spending too much money into this car, and if it's like a few hundreds.
How old is it actually?
I mean, it's 8 years, so it's not too old actually.
Yeah.
Not really.
I mean, it has 130,000 kilometers, which
That's
is
also not really much.
No, for a small car, for a small city car, it's a lot there. Mostly designed, I think, to go for 100,000 or something like that. Because
Really? Oh my gosh.
if you only drive in the city, you don't have a lot to drive.
My first car that I bought was a 1969
Nice.
A Golf?
Laguna,
Okay.
and I bought it with 246,000 kilometers.
And you drove it to 400?
To 300,000, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is also not really
Yeah, I mean,
a big car for long distances.
Yeah. Prior to this area, prior to 2010, the cars in 2005, they're designed to go for a lot more kilometers.
Okay.
Right now, it's going a little bit down because they don't need to spend a lot of money on the materials, because the small cars are only driven for a few thousands, 10,000 kilometers.
yeah, and sometimes you have just bad luck with your cars, right? You can just have it for 100,000 kilometers and it still breaks down. So
Yeah, I know one from Hyundai, the company, and he said, it has to be this issue. It's definitely not common. Most of the time this happens because you put bad fuel into your car, because the discounter fuel sometimes has a lot of water pollution into it. And so, I will see what happens. For other things, I have to organize a lot of ski races. Currently, I have one scheduled on the 6th of January, one on the 8th, and one on the 9th of January.
Oh, that's a lot.
Two I already had to... One was on the 31st of December, and one was on the 2nd of January. They had been cancelled.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would have been yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, because the snow wasn't good enough, and the Corona rules in Austria are a little bit strict, and it would be not really safe to organize them, I would say.
So you're down to organize the event, or you're racing yourself?
I'm an organizer.
Organizer.
Yeah.
In kind of a, how do you call it?
In an organizing way, yeah.
Organizing.
So I have to get in the guys that help with the race. I have to schedule everything in the internet. Then the guys, we have a website in Austria. The other guys from the other clubs log in. They announce the drivers or the racers and put them to me, and I will give out the numbers and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
But is it for all age classes, or is it
up from 13 years up to 80 or something like that?
Okay, yeah. So it's a broad spectrum of
Yeah.
people. All in your skiing society.
Yeah, it's in a small area there.
Okay.
We have a small cup where they can race around, which is like the World Cup, but just for a small.
I think this is actually a nice topic, because a lot of probably a lot of our listeners won't regularly ski. It is pretty common in Austria to I'm going skiing and I'm doing some ski races, but
pretty much every children has had to have a skiing education.
Yeah, it is
in the
pretty
school.
common.
It's pretty common. Almost everybody can ski or snowboard at least.
Yeah, or at least had the experience of being on skis on the mountain at some point. But this is definitely not common in other
countries.
places.
Yeah, that's true.
Other countries,
And something that's really, really nice, because we had a, how's it called? We brought 45 children or something like that to ski in the end of December. And so in Steyr, where we do those, we have a lot of, how's it called? Nowadays inhabitants which have a background from another country. And we see now that the name of the children are now nearly equally mixed. So that means that the guys that moved to Austria from other countries are now learning into, hey, they go skiing, they do the same thing. So it isn't that the far right guys tell, no, they bring their culture and they destroy the Austrian culture. No, they adapt, they try the other things too. So it's kind of nice to see the children, being
playing
friends
along,
with each other and not being hateful to each other, even though as their parents might be.
But that's one thing I really like about the US is that if you're there and you're American, then it's always fuck yeah America. It just doesn't matter if your parents come from there or something. If you're American, then you're American.
As long as you don't look Asian. No, but it's a little bit nationalism, but
but it's nice.
Hold together if you are at the same place. And for some movie and series recommendations, I looked into Demon Slayer, which was currently on Netflix. The second season is currently subtitled, which is currently playing in Japan.
Japan, yeah.
Which is an anime, which was really, really good. Can really recommend it. And then I looked into Wheel of Time, which...
Like I recommended last time.
And I said, I've only heard
Philipp,
bad things about
Peter
it.
Hooked.
And I've basically binge-watched it in 1 or 2 days. And it was kind of good. And I have the feeling that I want to look into the books. But on the other hand,
I can feel you.
I have the feeling to not look into the books because it's like 37 books in German, and it's basically insane. No, because the first book of the original series from the English guy was split into 5 books.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's a little bit less, but I have the feeling that the first book is like 1,500 pages or something like that, and moved into 400 pages books, which is a solid book to read.
Still a little bit,
It means you imagine yourself when you're at the foot of Mount Everest and you think to yourself, do you really have to go up there?
Basically.
Do I have to hike to the moon?
To the moon.
But would you recommend this or both?
The series was really fucking good.
You call yourself lucky because you can binge watch it. I have started from the beginning and had to wait every week for the new episode, and it was horror. I can tell you, it was such a pain to...
I have to currently watch an anime. Not have to, but I like to watch an anime. And they have a break for 2 weeks over Sylvester.
Oh, God.
That's disgusting. That should be
and
banned.
it's the season finale.
Wow, that's so hard.
that should be banned.
I can't
This
imagine.
is a policy that should be stated in the terms of policy of Netflix.
I mean, I just hate it. When I have to wait for a new season of a show that I like, and just waiting for a whole week for the next episode was just cruel.
Yeah, I have to think about, because I haven't started with Witcher season 1, the 3rd episode.
Okay.
just because of the reason, if I now watch it, I have to watch it all through, and then the second season I have to wait for it for
The second
a
season is
year.
out.
No, but maybe I wait for the third season
You're an idiot.
because I know
No offense, but you're an idiot.
but I know the best part of the first season already.
I'm not so No, it's not even the best part.
Well,
It's not even the best
so
part.
good. It's so good.
And I can tell you the second season gets even better than the first.
Okay, a better song.
Maybe we should
Okay,
give a new discussion
move
for
a
all
little
this.
bit on. So for Magic terms, I've upgraded now my Candy Grey Creators because I bought the Secret Lair, and I've got my Blackwater Plateau, and I'm in the middle of old boarding my fetches completely with my Arid Mesas.
Nice.
I sketched out the Urza Saga, and now I'm in the middle of sketching out the, how are they called? The Esper Sentinels, which means I only have to get 2 black bordered plateaus, and then I should be kind of good, because I think I will cut the black splash just to don't have the old board and scrubland.
Are they so much more expensive?
I think the scrubland should be more than 400,
Okay,
450,
oh my gosh.
500, which means I will.
Scrublands.
Which means I should get an underground sea instead.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you don't have them
Definitely.
already,
Yeah.
then you should get an underground sea.
But enough for me, Phil. Some small anointments.
Yeah, I gotta take this short here.
60 seconds, go.
6 seconds go. Okay, I watched Witcher season 2 and it was absolutely great. It was fucking fantastic. You should definitely
No
see
idea.
it. Wheel of Time was really great. Then
Agreed.
I am now into Stranger Things. I've only heard good things about it, but I never got around to see it. So I started it yesterday. On Saturday.
Okay.
And I'm now
First season
on,
was good?
I'm now on first season. I think episode 5,
Yeah.
something, or 6.
It's a great
It's
series.
really great at the moment. I'm hoping it will continue as this. Then I have a little bit of planning to do for my Dungeons and Dragons campaign. I'm now running Storm King's Thunder, and we're now out of Tribor and defeated the first giant.
Okay.
And now we've got a little bit of a sandbox adventure in the future.
60 seconds. Perfect.
Perfect.
So
I think this was one of the longest private stuff that we had done in a
Probably.
long time.
I think we have a few bullet points here on our agenda for you guys, but we made a quick announcement of our new to come content already.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we can skip over some of the points. I would suggest that we talk about our scheduled event that we originally had planned
for
Oh, yeah.
February.
as a next step,
Yeah.
which is called Back to Magic.
Oh yeah, we have unfortunately some sad news for you folks.
Because it's going to be back to planning, yeah.
Yeah.
Back to planning, yeah. I mean,
Wait, why? What happened?
We can make this short or we can make this rather long, but I'm not sure if it's worth it actually.
Just
I'm
make
not
it
sure.
short.
Yeah,
Yes.
make it short, but just emphasize the point that we need to emphasize.
we could discuss it for a whole hour probably.
Yeah.
True. It's very frustrating. This is my best summary that we can say. We talked about with the guys that are responsible for the event location. We had meetings with them in the first few months, let's say.
Which was scheduled every month, one
Every
meeting,
month, yeah.
starting with December last 2020 actually, in January the first big meeting with us included. Yeah,
We were keeping in touch regularly, and we thought we made progress, and we thought that everything was set in stone, or to a certain extent. And then the big hurdle was, when will the selling of the tickets start? A lot of people have been asking us, when will the tickets go live? They have planned a vacation already, or they really want to visit Austrian the Back to Magic event, and we just kept to also ask ourselves, because the event organizers are responsible for this, or were responsible for this.
Or the location organizers.
Yeah, the location organizers.
Yeah.
And they just kept telling us, oh, it's going to be next week, or we just have to wait for 2 more weeks or something like that.
Yep.
No precise answers, or actually sometimes they even said something like it's going to be on this day, but it never was.
But it never happened.
It was basically the 1st of, I think, November.
Yeah.
It was, it's gonna happen. And like on the Friday up to the Monday, so 3 days prior, we got informed like, I'm sorry, it's not happening on this day. And we were just like, what the fuck? We announced it for a month or something like that, or it should have been a month, because we had posters, stuff like that. We traveled to Germany, to Munich to give out posters and made advertisements for that. And basically the event location, which was not only the event location, but also the main how's it called, the main partner that the organizer for the event. It was the TO for the event, and basically they let us all hanging, I would say.
But overall, I think that, long story short, the takeaway from this is it will not be in February, this event. We will have to reschedule it.
Yeah, we will take matters in our own hands and do the whole dirty work for
together with the shop game store in Linz, which is our LGS. We will do the event in summer. Dates will be announced soon. We have to talk to other sites that we can schedule the event. We will talk, or we just sent an email to the Four Seasons tournaments, and are waiting for a response if they know when it's happening, so that it doesn't collide with the schedule of them, so that we can have 2 big events in the summer in the middle of Europe that everyone can travel to.
Yeah, and we try to make it as big as possible. We are not sure if we can keep up the promise of the 5K, but we will try to make it as big as possible. And if enough people are coming to Linz, to play in the event, and are still interested, we could even make it bigger.
So this would be one of our really need you guys to stick to this and spread the word still, so that we can in the end have a big event. We really need it to be big, so that we can actually fulfill for all of you guys to make it a big event, and maybe also, if it is successful, continue something like that in the future.
Maybe it will be yearly or something like
hanging
that.
There. I know it is frustrating.
It's really frustrating.
It is for us also, but we hope you understand, and we will try to make it as best as possible for you.
That's true. That's if like the old saying goes, if you want to do something good, then you have to do it for yourself. So that's about the Back to Magic. Just for any information, follow us on Twitter at Austrian_Legacy, or send us an email, austrian-legacy@gmx.at. Then we can put you into the newsletter, and you have everything on schedule.
So let's talk Legacy.
Let's talk Legacy. And half an hour into a podcast, and we start. Why do we have such a strange episode title this time?
Yeah,
I mean, we always have strange episode titles, but this time it's really funny.
There's been a lot of talk. I mean, I think people are also quite frustrated and annoyed at this point when it comes to the current state of Legacy. Wizards announced that they will watch the Eternal Weekend.
And get us some data.
I
mean, they have enough data due to Joe Dyer's Legacy Data Collection project.
Yes.
And they have certainly even more data that they are,
because they
hiding
have
from
the
us.
whole leak data actually.
For sure, And up to this day, I don't know, when was Eternal Weekend? I think it was 2 or 3 months ago.
And no, it was in the end of November. Or
End of November.
Okay, 1.5
1.5
months.
Okay. And up to this, I mean, even today, if there was an announcement, there could have been one announcement today. Still no change to the Legacy format. So the question comes up, do they not care? Or, in their opinion, is probably the format okay as is? So with that, I think we can discuss based on the things that what's it doesn't do anything, let's say.
Yeah.
And based on the data that was very nicely posted by Koki MTG on Twitter. This is the Postmodern Horizons 2 Legacy recap from the whole year.
Yeah, from the data.
From half year. Modern Horizons 2 came out in June, so it's a half year.
Half year breakdown, okay. Greatly helped with Joe Dyer from MTG Goldfish, right?
Yeah.
And
also the Astrolab podcast.
Okay. They gathered the data and they made some interesting graphs that we can have a look at.
Yeah.
It's no surprise to see that, like all people say, that the events that either didn't fire when it comes to attendance. For example, I think the Saturday challenge did never fire, right?
Saturday challenge didn't fire since I think 2.5 months or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you look at the data, basically every Saturday challenge had between 64 and 70 people, which means it was a bare minimum to fire like every single.
But what is the minimum?
64.
64, yeah.
So a lot of time, some guys double queue or something like that, or someone puts in an account with only basics. So just that it does fire.
Yeah.
And the best change that would be possible, which was a thing that they did actually, it was a 32 player event. They upped it because they were, we don't want it to be a 32 player event because with COVID hitting and a lot of players going into loan services and a lot of more players played the event, it is a fixed prize pool. And the prize pool for 32 players for 80 plus players sucks. And so they upped it because every time we get over 64 players, so it's no problem. We make the Saturday and the Sunday challenge for 64 players, which is basically what they did. And maybe it is time to revert the change to put it back to 32, or maybe better idea, make something like scaling prices for online events. No, you can do this. No, I mean
that's not possible.
That's technically not possible.
MTGO is from when? 2002.
And by the way, MTGO got not sold, but is now under a different company.
Yeah. I also heard it. I can't tell you which company it is right now off the top of my head.
I've heard they either burn the products or build them up greatly. I'm not sure what they do with MTGO.
The problem with things like that is I'm always reminded with, I don't know if you know it, Warhammer Online: Age of Reckoning. That was an MMO that was hailed as a World of Warcraft killer, like many of them did back in the day, and it was made at first by Mythic, and Mythic made Dark Age of Camelot, which is also an MMO, and which was also a huge success, and people thought, Mythic, this is going to be great, and then the servers sucked so bad. They were always crashing, always lagging, and then they just they sold it. They gave it to another one, and then they also burned it down. And I'm really in fear that this will happen with MTGO. And
I mean,
can
it
totally
get worse?
feel it.
It can.
It can. It works. It's not beautiful. It does what it does. It's not nice for a viewer experience. It's just overall a shitty platform, but it does what it does and it works. So I just hope they just don't burn it too extremely.
The interesting thing about MTGO is that there are a lot of companies being reliant on MTGO working. If you look into Card Hoarder, if you look into Mana Traders, into Goatbots, there are a few companies directly really hard relying on
true.
it.
That's
with
true.
a lot of money into it.
Oh yeah, just if you look at the card prices, it's insane.
Yeah. And
I've seen a tweet where I'm not sure who it was, but was it NZ or was it Brian Cook? Somebody of them have sold their Onslaught polluted deltas for cans of Tarkir polluted deltas and 30 ticks. It's just so insane. It's a fucking digital game. Why the prices are so different?
If you look into it, some guys pay 30 or even 40 euros, I think, for a skin in League of Legends that looks different. The player character is exactly the same. And I think this is the right way to do it.
Yeah, cosmetics.
And basically exchanging your can fetches or your fetches from like Onslaught to Cans of Takir is basically like having another
I
skin.
totally get this in paper because I do it myself, but yeah. So Daniel has found
I just, in the meantime, just quickly searched up to this because I think it is nice to notice. Daybreak Games is the new company that Wizard is partnering in somewhere in the year 2022. It's a leading global publisher and developer of multiplayer online games and has proven track record of supporting and growing live service games. So,
no idea.
No idea who they are, but I guess it is a good hope for the game. I mean, probably not visually, but speaking of bugs and general performance of the software, I think a developed or a leading global publisher like Daybreak Games, as they say.
I'm going to tell you what will happen. They won't fix any bugs. They won't make the client more stable. They don't work on the performance, but they work on the cosmetics. It will look great, but it will crash all the time.
I mean, it just can't get better than now, right? This is my.
They are the publishers of EverQuest and EverQuest 2.
Yeah.
Do you know them?
Yeah, I know this game, but I haven't really played it myself. But it is for sure. A developed and a published game. Okay, for sure.
Just hope for the best. At this stage, I'm a little bit pessimistic.
Yeah, we just have to wait and see, I think. But I think this can be good news for MTGO, but we will see in the upcoming year.
And I think we drifted a little bit too far away here.
Sure.
From our main topic.
Let's talk about these meta games, or let's say the state of Legacy.
At first, I wanted to say the most frustrating part is that WotC isn't telling us anything. That's the thing that I really hate the most. I think they just, if they think the format is fine, then just could say, screw you guys, our data says it's fine. Okay. Just live with it.
Maybe they are not sure yet. This is what I was thinking. Because I think there is one big discussion point that I think is, well, a lot of people are basing their opinions on a reason that might not be the actual reason for the legacy.
That's true.
Yeah. And I want to quickly explain this. Like, if you look at this data from Koki MTG that we have here on this metagame breakdown, the win rates of the decks overall don't look that overwhelming. For example, the chosen obvious, let's say, in quote-unquote obvious best deck in Legacy is, of course,
Blue-Red
Delva. Yeah. It is by far the most played deck over, I think over 1,000 players play it. And it just has a little bit over 50% win rate.
Yeah.
And the same is, there are other decks that are representative, but they are less common, but they have even higher percentage. This win rates.
Like Blue Zenith.
For example,
or Green-White Depth with
Depths, Doomsday,
Bomberman.
Depth has a 3% metagame share, which is definitely a reason.
Yeah. And yes, it is overly present. Let's say if you base it on the presence that people are playing the deck, for sure. On the other hand, if you play a deck if a deck is all that present, people will prepare for it and, of course, also damper the win percentage.
But for here, the counter argument that I hear often is that a lot of people are playing Blue-Red Delver, and a lot of people that playing Blue-Red Delver aren't really good. So they are dragging down the win percentage.
Could also be the case, yeah. And also we have only the data that is reported from the leagues. I'm not sure, and the challenges.
It's without leagues, it's only challenges and big events.
Traditionally, Delver is a deck that scales extremely with the skill of the pilot.
Player. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
So if you aren't a good player or not experienced enough with the tempo shell, like myself, then you're probably more in the range of 40% win percentage. I just can't talk about myself. If I would bring Blue-Red Delver to a challenge, I would probably go 1-3 and then drop, or even worse. So
I mean, of course, it is based on skill. Yeah. But when it comes to discussion of things are so strong, and oftentimes also Ragavan, Murktide Regent, or Expressive Iteration are mentioned in discussions, I think it could be the case that a lot of people, this is just a potential reason, a lot of people that are arguing against these cards are like old legacy players that play the format for a long time. And I think during this discussion, what swings between the lines here can be the fear or the disgust even of new expensive cards that you have to buy for your good deck. Yeah. So it might be one reason. Okay, Ragavan is good. Maybe it's too strong. Maybe it should be banned. But this could also be a reason why a lot of people just hate it, because you now need to spend 70 euros or even more or if you multiply it before for the playset to have it in your deck. And people apparently or maybe don't like this.
But what was in the time when World Wake came around, there was a small blue Planeswalker card which is called GMTS, Chase the Mind Sculptor.
Yes.
And was Chase the Mind Sculptor not the same? Was the uproar in the community not the same? I, for myself, can say I was not around at this time. I think neither of us were around at this time.
I'm not.
You weren't playing Legacy, I think, at this time. And if I can imagine it was simply the same. Yeah. This was a 100 euro card. The only problem with Raggy is now, or Daddy Raggy.
Daddy Raggy, however you want to call it.
Hit me, Daddy.
But yeah, it's like a $60 card that you have to buy, and Blue-Red Delver was commonly always the budget Delver deck, and now you have to buy a Murktide for 30 euros a card. You have to buy Raggy for 60 euros a card. You have to, I mean, Expressive Iteration is the bullshit.
Yeah, but you need 4 Volcanic, 2 Steam Vents.
Yeah,
I mean 2 Steam Vents. No.
Yeah, but the
4
Volcanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when I played Blue-Red Delver back then with the burn suit. I think this was 2017. I played some FNMs.
16 or 15.
No, it was not with Treasure Cruise. It was
it was when I was playing.
Yeah, Blue-Red Delver with Monastery Swift Spear and Fire Blast and just pew pew pew.
Yeah.
I'd like to pew 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 people. And
just
Detection Probe was still legal. So it was probably before the Death Rat ban.
So before I started, yeah.
And I played with 2 Volks.
Yeah, I started off with 2 Volks, and
this was completely fine for a Delver deck, for Blue-Red Delver.
Yeah, sure. And now you would play 6 Volks if you could.
Yeah, if you could, yes, because the need for red spells are higher, and this is also the reason, maybe one of the reasons, because of Ragavan, because of Dragon Rage Channel, and because of Expressive Iteration, you have to have more red sources. You can't just play all the basics anymore. Yeah. You still want to be able to cast Daze, so what do? You just jam all 4 Volks, and this also increases the price. And I think for all this ban discussion, the big question mark that always have is the arguments solely based on the price, or is Ragavan's in fact really too strong? I mean, this could still be the case. I'm not sure myself, but when we have a look at the data, it does not look all that convincing to me.
Yeah, and a small thing to point out is, if you look back at the data for the last few years, a thing that here is completely missing are 2 archetypes, which is Ragdelva and Grixis Delva.
Yeah, that's true.
If you combine, I think it should be similar for each year. If you combine Blue-Red Delva, Grixis Delva, and Ragdelva, you should have like the 16%.
And Bug Delva.
And Bug Delva. If you combine all the Delva shells, and Bug Delva, you should have about the 16%. So I don't think that Delva has a bigger share of the metagame this year. It's just that it's only Blue-Red Delva
all have
because you need the big
Ragavan
consistency of blue spells and red creatures. So you don't really have the place for Tarmogoyfs because Murktide is the better Tarmogoyf.
Yep.
You don't need Gurmagangler because
Murktide
is the better Gurmagangler.
Yep.
And we don't talk about Bug because Delva got replaced, Tarmogoyf got replaced, and Murktide got and Gurmagangler got replaced.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I mean, this could in fact be a reason why one of these cards should be banned, because it clearly disallows diversification of the format. So in that sense, this would be an argument for banning.
That's true. I haven't seen
anything
it
of this
actually in this light.
yeah,
But
because
that's true, and I'm always for diversification. And I'm missing Grixis Delva, I'm missing Ragdelva.
But what do they got? I mean, Plague Engineer, it's not all that effective. And
this
Rag,
card is
like you said, Tarmogoyf is just
I mean,
underwhelming.
Oh my
I mean,
God, this
Bug-
card is so
Bug
bad.
won't be played because you need the red spells. Rag, what does Tarmogoyf offers instead of Murktide? If
Nothing.
Murktide got be banned, it could be okay to play him again.
Yep.
But it would be the big time beater, which is kind of the role. So maybe if Murktide got bad, we get Ragdelva again.
Yep.
And about Grixis Delva, is it the same reason? Murktide banned, we get...
Yeah, probably Murktide ban, yeah. They do
And-
the same and Murktide is bigger.
And maybe if you want diversification in Delva shells, you need to ban the Murktide, but you still have a whole lot of red 1 and 2 drops. You still have your 4 lightning bolts, your 2 how's the other removal spell called?
Unholy Heat.
Unholy Heats. You still have your 4 DRC. You still have your 4 Ragavan. You still have your 4 Expressive Iteration. You can't back out of the red cards.
Yeah.
You can't back out. So
You convinced me I'm not on a ban days train now anymore. Just ban all of Modern Horizons 2 and I'm probably fine.
except Urza Saga.
Ban Modern Horizons, make Legacy cheaper.
Yeah. That's
Because you don't need all the Volks anymore.
yeah, that's one of my biggest gripes here with Legacy in 2021 was Modern Horizons 2, and
Price.
you suddenly had to shell out so much money for imprint cards. It's just insane.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's totally I don't know why, but it's totally fine for me to buy a Tiger, buy a Tundra, buy an Helm of Obedience, and just shell out. Whoa, 50s in the club. Yeah, that's great.
But if you don't have a reasoning from Wizard of the Coast, we won't ban Ragavan. It's such a bad feeling to buy a Ragavan.
Oh yeah.
And the small thing that I want to add is, which was some thoughts throwing around from other content creators in the Legacy community, which is like, maybe if we have good faith in them, they have a big metagame shakeup planned, like a banning of 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever many cards, that they shake up the meta really hard. They ban a lot of problematic cards at once and not do I take the one straw and maybe I need to take another straw to fix the format. Just ban a whole package and try it again.
Could be, yeah.
And if they do it like that, I have a bad feeling for Urza Saga again, which is a big
could
factor.
be one part of this story, yeah.
And we will see if Days and Urza Saga and Ragavan and DRC or whatever card got spent.
I mean, after all, Legacy is still in a state where, if you look at the most played cards, it is still...
It's the same.
The biggest share is still Fosterfield, Brainstorm, Ponder, Wasteland, Days. These 5 cards are the only cards that played more than 2,000 copies of in this metagame breakdown, and all the other cards are played less.
And
so
I think those should be the same every single year.
Yeah.
Because normally you still have your Force of Will decks and Brainstorm and Ponder decks, which are always played or nearly always played in the same deck.
Yeah, that's true.
Which are the forefront, which are above or about 50% of the meta game. You have Wasteland, which is an evergreen card in Legacy. You played in nearly every deck. You have Swords to Plowshares then on top. You have the Fetchers.
I gotta say, Ragavan did one thing right, and it was Ragavan made white great again.
This is what I want to touch also. If you look at the metagame breakdown, what I noticed is for the win percentage versus a player, how many times they have played this graph. What you notice is on the low percentage area, all the decks, or pretty much all the decks. So this would be the lower left side. They are mostly consisting of decks that don't have white. So the worst, or in other words, also decks that have a lot of black, actually.
Oh my god, this hurts.
I mean, the black is also still up there in higher percentages, but when you focus on the white decks, they are mostly located and high win percentages weight. So, as you said, this Modern Horizons set certainly made white a better color in Legacy than it was before.
So you say I should try Jeskai Phoenix then?
Instead of Grixis. Black.
Orms jump in silence.
but you're basically still a combo guy, and a black remains.
You need Dark Ritual.
Yes.
If we get any white ritual,
I play Seething Song.
I mean, this is mostly referring to the fair decks, and of course, mostly due to prismatic ending. And black remains, I think,
combo staple. Yeah. When somebody opens on Underground CMO, 90% sure they're on combo.
Yes,
Yeah.
It is now a combo color, black.
Yeah, it's an only combo color because we talked about beforehand. The only reason to splash for black in your 5-color control deck is currently one of two cards. If you're greedy and play Wood Saga, you splash for the Baleful Strix.
Yeah.
And if you are not greedy, you splash if you want for the Witherbloom command.
Or for the Plague Engineer. Then it's 3 cards.
Oh yeah, just Thomas Mine play
in the bug
dark
piles, in the green Sunzenith piles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, it doesn't make sense to play Plague Engineer in your green Sunzenith pile, but
It makes sense just 2 or 3 off in the sideboard.
yeah.
You could also just be Thomas Mine and play Freehim the Torek in your main deck. So.
I actually have now everything for this deck. I've made myself a little Christmas gift. I bought Chase the Mind Sculptor and Snapcaster Mages.
I thought you bought yourself Him the Thorax.
I already have my Wolfham Tutorials, the best ones actually.
Chases and
Snappies.
That's nice, yeah.
And I have now everything for this 4-color Thomas Ma check pile.
I think this, even if some people might disagree, but every pile that Thomas Ma plays is in my
check pile, yeah.
eyes
That's
a
true.
check pile.
It's the check pile.
Yeah.
And that was the metagame breakdown of the last season.
I think
so do we have a conclusion here regards to banning?
Yeah. Let's make a short conclusion. In my eyes, I think. Well, I'm really torn apart because I'm really feeling that this price tag issue is also influencing me and myself too much. But I would go for maybe ban Murktide would be my approach. I like this idea because then it would more dip into the more high-end more finisher of other types like Tamogoyf or Gurmag Angler for other Delver decks.
Yep, because you can't really run blue-red. I mean, what are the cards that you are playing then? Is it the 3-1 with flash that you can bounce a card with?
Brazen Borer.
Is it Brazen Borer? Is it True Name?
Yeah, and
the problem is with. I'm sorry here, Daniel.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was a Twitter post where someone just cut the Ragavan from his deck and played the league and also got the 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's 1-5-0, okay, but he said if it was a really famous person. I'm not sure who it was actually now, but he said if Ragavan was to be banned, they would just easily switch it out for Delvers and Brazen Borers.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And that's it.
The problem for the whole shell is that it's currently really, really good. If we ban, for example, Ragavan, Murktide, and DRC.
You would ban these 3 cards.
If we ban those 3 cards, Delver would still be tier 1. 100%.
That's an interesting thought. I'm not sure if I would agree. Because I mean, you would have to go back to like different threats. Like, what else is there? Like Young Pyromancer or something like that.
No, he said Delver, so Rag or Grixis.
You would play. You
would have to go 3 color.
Rag or Grixis again.
That's for sure the case.
Which would diversify the mana bases again. It would ban the whole Delver archetype, the blue-red Delver best card dot deck, we would go back to the Rag Delver, which means Delver, Tarmogoyf, a few copies of Brazen Borer, and which was the other card that Rag always played?
Sometimes True Name Nemesis.
Yeah, True Names.
Sprite Dragon.
Sprite Dragon was in the later games, yeah.
Yeah, it was also really hard. Sprite Dragon was a really strong
and
card.
And Sprite Dragon got like, yeah. Do you want to play 2 mana for a 1/1 that maybe grows each turn if you play a spell? Or each time you play a spell? Or you want to play the 2-drop that comes into play as an 8/8 because you played 5 spells already? Which is like, I don't know.
actually, I gotta disagree here also with you a little bit, Peter. I don't think Dragon's Rage Chandler is in any world ban-worthy. Dragon's Rage Chandler is, I think, a totally fair card. What you forget is that you should hit Expressive Iteration instead.
Yeah. It was just ban the whole suite of the threats,
okay,
and they
so that's
just replace them, and everything is.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. As long as Expressive Iteration is in the format, so Delver can just switch out the threats and still be tier 1.
So this would be your approach. You would ban Expressive Iteration.
And for sure Murktide.
These 2 cards.
Murktide, because it's just too huge of a tempo swing. It's just too extreme. When you had, just when I think about my Hogak days, you already had your Hogak out and a little bit of tokens and little things going around. You basically had the whole game capped. Yeah. You're winning this. And if this happens now, they just pay 2 mana and Murktide, and maybe make another Murktide that's even bigger, and then they just 2 swings, you're dead.
Yeah. There's a massive clock.
Yeah, the clock is just so extreme, and Delver is already such a really fast deck, and they just get another tempo swing that makes them even faster, even when they're behind. So Murktide for me is a sure. For me personally, sure. I'm not sure if it makes the format better or something, but I always said I have the most problems with my deck, so I'm totally biased here, against Murktide Regent. It's not Ragavan, because I just kill him and he flips cards from my deck which aren't helping him in any way. So it doesn't. I don't care about Ragavan in any time. I only care about Ragavan when it comes to buying him.
That's what I think is most people or a lot of people are worried about.
Yeah, and for me the conclusion, I think if they should do a big overhaul of the format, it could be a good idea, but I really, really hope that they look out to legacy enthusiasts that play a lot of Magic or have them in a playtesting group, because I really, really think that they should accompany a lot of time to this format. I think if they got to do an overhaul for the format, they need a few weeks or even 1 or 2 months to prepare for it. They have to accompany playtesting time for them, so which means they would take this time from standard away and stuff like that. So I don't know if they do it like that, but if I would only hit a few cards, I think it should be something like Ragavan and Expressive Iteration. Because if you take the card advantage engines away from Delva, it's always looking better. And Murktide is a thing that can be red elemental blasted, which is like every deck that I plays it in the main deck, so it's kind of easy to.
so you're like me, you're totally biased.
No. I think if you don't need to use your swords in the first 2 turns because you really need to stop the Ragavan, because you need the swords, because it dashes in and plays around your prismatic ending, which most of the multicolor decks play. So I think if you take the Ragavan, which is the instant speed interaction, and if you take the Expressive Iteration, which is the second card advantage engine, you have now Delva left with Delva instead of Ragavan, which is a threat that can be more easily removed. And you give them a card that doesn't 2-for-1 you. Because for me with Painter, I had the feeling that I only used to Delva players that drew a few Expressive Iteration because they can now overpower myself with card advantage. And if they don't do it, I'm really fine because I have the answers for them. And card advantage is something that is really good. In a shell, this is faster than yours and can disrupt you.
Yeah, that's true. And I just want to add here something because you made a really good point.
Thank
you. You said that you don't want WotC to get too much time for the playtesting group to Legacy. What would be great for the format would be something like Modo Week, where some cards are banned. So a week
something like Anzi does, yeah.
Yeah, but an official event for a whole week, like the Vintage Cube. So there are now Legacy banned days or banned Ragavan or something like that, and they would have the data from these events, and it would be just so much more meaningful that their playtesters could do. It would be so much more.
This is a really fantastic idea because
and they would make money.
they would make money, people would be attending to events, and this would not be all that difficult for them to actually do. I mean, banning a card in a digital game is not...
Make a format with 2 cards less or with 1 card less.
Yeah, like the Vintage Cube, it's just a Modo. There is Legacy always programmed. They just have to add 1 card to the ban list, let's say. And
they have to just add another format with a different ban list.
Yeah. It is very simple as that. So
just every month,
it would be a really nice idea,
week, and just make leagues, make challenges, and sure it would take away from players from Legacy,
which I think is a bad thing.
But if it's just for 1 week,
it is just a small period of time.
Each month.
The problem with this data, it's kind of that it will be kind of inflated with feelings and stuff like that, because you can't just do it for 1 week, so you try the things that you like, and I think it's not into we try to max out this shell to win. So I think the data is inflated in this way. I don't think the data is correct in a way that because I don't think that we see the thing that we can expect from a future meta game for this.
That's true, but you could at least get something out of it. And for example, if you
money.
Also money. For example, if you just make this for each month, always for 1 week, then you can just say, okay, in January we are banning Ragavan. In February we are banning Expressive Iteration. In March we are banning Murktide. And
but
then just compare these things. And even if they're inflated, you get so much data that this cancels out.
Yeah, the problem is, do you want to remove the legacy challenges for this week? Do you want to remove the leagues for this week? Do you want to add another challenge? Do you want to add another league?
You add it. You don't remove anything, you add it.
But the challenge won't fire.
Then you just make tournament practice
Well,
and leagues.
it doesn't matter if it won't fire anyways, right?
That is true. That's true. Like we see. You can just
Could
make
be if you do like
16
once a
person
month
challenges.
the Saturday ban list. Yeah, but yeah, I think we talked enough turtles this week.
I think so. Yes, this was a nice band talk.
Yeah, which was kind of good. I think.
I think it's not really a band discussion. At this
Well, it was
time,
just let's say a format, a stance of a legacy.
I expected something else as we talked about. Maybe we'll do a little bit of band discussion, but that was certainly different.
Okay.
There was no whining or saltiness here.
Yeah, which was a thing that I really hope that won't happen. But
Anyways, if you like what we are doing, support us by liking us on Twitter. It's @response_legacy. Supporting us on Patreons on patreon.com/response_legacy. You can find me on Twitter. It's @Phindek_MTG, PHINDEKMTG. Where can we find you, Peter, on social media?
And yeah, if you really want to support us, you can like our pictures on Instagram, and you can find me on Twitter. It's @unicornlord, but the O in the Lord is a 0. Nice. Where can we find you, Daniel?
As always, also on Twitter, it is @flyingdelver. And of course on the great website, greatness@anycost.com. And yeah.
Join our Discord, in Response a Legacy Discord. You can find the invite link on our link tree. That's in our Twitter profile.
Yeah.
And maybe also on greatness@anycost.com. I'm not sure now.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Should be.
Yes.
So we will see us. We will hear us again.
You will hear us. Yeah.
Stay tuned for new contents to come. We will make a new announcement for this new special series that we have up in our mind.
It will be thoughtful
and great.
That's right.
Yeah.
This was In Response, a Legacy podcast. If you enjoyed the ride, feel free to support the show by following, leaving a review, or subscribe on patreon.com/response_legacy.